Silver and gold prices are changing rapidly. What highs can we and will we see for gold? And what potential lows can we and will we see for silver? That ratio is expanding. It's making silver a lot cheaper and a lot more attractive. What's fueling that and where will it all end up? So many unknowns. Let's talk about it in this week's Precious Metal Ramble. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for this week's Precious Metal Ramble, which is going to be a little bit of a collection of thoughts and opinions on the recent movements in metal prices. We've seen silver come down quite a lot more in this last week over its previous record in the last month or so. It's just dropped off a little bit of a cliff, not massively gone down, not like earlier last year when the lockdowns hit, but it's gone down again, and that's a real kind of important observation to make. You know, we've seen markets around the world go down and down and down because of worries and concerns over Delta variants and COVID recovery being impeded by the increasing case rates around the world. Here in the United Kingdom, we've just unlocked to a certain degree. We called it Freedom Day. On Monday this week, we saw a whole bunch of different restrictions on social distancing and mask wearing go out. And there is genuine concern from a lot of people out there that that is a step too far, and we're going to see increased amounts of pressure on economies and recoveries. And that's been the sentiment of the markets, and we've seen silver go down. Now, conversely, gold is up, and quite considerably up as well. We've seen this before. We have seen this happen before. Maybe not quite in this sort of ratios. Last year, silver went down massively. It was humongous drops, and gold stayed roughly the same, but then went up and up and up. It was about £1,500 an ounce at its peak, about $1,340 right now at the time of filming. Goodness knows what it will be by the time this video is published. But it is evident, once again, to me, my observation that gold is that go-to safe haven asset. You see a lot of these funds on various different platforms that are pretty much tanking. You know, I don't just invest in gold and silver. I have money in stocks and shares, and gold is that hedge, that protection for me. And it is the same for all of these other big investors out there. They are flocking to gold right now because of the uncertainty, because of the unknowns that is out there about this coronavirus impact on recovery because of the Delta variants and other variants and unlocking. Now, I don't really want to get too political about the pros and cons of unlocking. I get that there are arguments on both sides for it, and I don't really want to go too much more into detail on that. All I will say is that at some point, that will be not as much of a concern as it is right now, and then we will see changes in markets once again. So silver going down right now is not a surprise to me. I in fact pretty much called it like this a couple of months ago. You know, when all the hype of the silver squeeze movement was there and everything out there right now, you know, all of the uncertainty in the world and everybody buying silver and everybody, you know, clambering around to get hold of it, I called it to say that it would not work. It would go down again at some point, and especially when you get recoveries, when you get flooding on the market of raw material silver, and then when you get people and organizations wanting to put their cash into other things and other projects. It's inevitable, and I think silver is unfortunately that first thing that always falls. It always has been. Margin calls is what is blamed predominantly for the big falls that we saw in 2020. And I think to a certain degree, we're seeing that again here today. And also with the silver-gold ratio being where it is, and you look at the history of the gold-silver ratio, it has been a significant amount higher. Now, that is, I think, the most interesting thing to look at for understanding where things are going to go. Now, I do want to make it abundantly clear that this is not financial advice. I have absolutely no form of inside knowledge about where silver prices and gold prices will go. But we can look at the ratios throughout history. And yes, we're in unprecedented times with unknowing future ahead of us. But ultimately, silver ratio to gold has been significantly higher in the past. In recent history, 80, 90, 100 plus ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. Premiums, though, are really what is, I think, the most interesting thing. Now, back when things crashed last year and we saw silver prices go down to, what was it, $12 an ounce or something like that. In the UK, it was under £10 an ounce. You could not, for love nor money, buy silver for less than 17, 18, 19 pounds an ounce from dealers. They just did not have it. They could not find it. And any that they could find was in such high demand that the premiums were there. Now, that was, of course, due to the real massive kind of lockdowns, mines literally closing, refineries literally closing. And for a lot of businesses, it meant, not being able to source materials, or at least not being able to source them at the right prices. So lots of issues happened there. And of course, that drives up premiums and means that it's not practical and possible for people to get what they need. This time round, I feel that that's different because we are not experiencing mass lockdowns like we did last year. There is just concern about the viability of fully unlocking economies and going back to normal. What is normal? I think personally we're going to see some form of intervention for coronavirus for years to come. It's going to be with us for a long time. There is not going to be a single simple way of going back to what we used to say as normal. And for me, that's why gold and silver play a really important role in that future. Now, for where things are going to go in the next couple of weeks, as I said, not a financial guru or advisor, but I do think that silver is more likely to go down further than gold is likely to go up a lot more. However, there is, in my opinion, a kind of underlying, well, call it silver lining for want of a better phrase. I feel like right now we are not going to see the £10 an ounce prices, the spot price going down that low again. It's a different world, a different scenario than it was back then, and institutions have learnt from those past times and mistakes. But I do feel that gold and silver will part in that ratio. I think gold will continue to rise. I think silver will continue to drop. To what levels? Nobody really knows, but I can't see silver going less than around about £17 an ounce. I think that's a pretty, what that would be in dollars, about $22 an ounce, something like that. I don't feel that that's a low that is going to be achieved easily. It's going to take a long sustained period of decline for that to happen. In terms of where things will go in the future, please bear in mind that silver is a volatile metal. It's got huge premiums at the moment, and people will inevitably be talking about backing up the truck again. Silver's going down, and I know for a fact that you start to see it whenever the prices drop like this. You start to see videos of people going, "Silver is dropping. This is what you need to do right now. You need to buy right now. Oh, here's an affiliate bonus code for my company that's selling you silver. Buy from here." Just be careful of the hype, of the hysteria. The premiums will stay high, I have no doubt. And this is another thing that it's the most annoying thing, I think, for these times, these crazy times we live in right now, because the dealers will have bought and stocked up an awful lot of silver right now because of the hysteria, the demand, the hype. The silver squeeze, the raid days, which are a bit redundant in my mind. I just don't see the point in advertising ahead of time to all the big bullion dealers that you're going to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on silver come what may. It's just obvious then the dealers will increase their premiums. Now, these dealers have stocked up a significant amount. They are going to keep those premiums high for as long as they possibly can. Of course they are, because that's the way that businesses work. And, it is a bit of a shame. So to see again prices drop is a really good thing, and I'm excited about that. It does bring silver back to my mindset to say it's a better price than gold right now. It's a better thing to buy than gold right now. I mean, to put this in perspective, I bought this from a chap on the Silver Forum a couple of weeks ago, 1,320 spot price, 1,343. It's gone up since I was filming. So the point here is that this stuff, I think, for now, is going to be rising. It's going to be going up. Yes, you could buy up the curve, but for me, those purchases of gold that I made last month at really nice prices, under £1,200, under £1,300 an ounce in spot price, those were good. Now I can rest on those laurels and see where things go in the future for silver. I did a video a couple of months ago saying I was done with buying silver. However, if the spot price goes down and down and down further, I think I'll probably be looking to be a buyer again of this stuff as an investment. Certainly if it gets to the range of 100 and plus 120 to 1 silver to gold ratio, like we saw last year, I definitely would be buying a lot more silver then, and I'd be looking to trade it up, because I do think, and this is my conclusion to this video, I do think that as things start to open up properly and we get to a point where there is, less concern about variance and about impact on economies, and businesses are able to open up without having all of the issue and bureaucracy and restrictions that are there, even just getting back to some semblance of normality. When that happens and when things start opening up more, the world will really lap it up. And we've heard it said many times that there will be growth like people have never seen since the Second World War, and that is, in my opinion, very likely to happen. And when that happens, when those markets open up and the big fat cats on Wall Street get wind of it, the money will come out of the safe haven gold, which is being put into right now. There's lots of money going into gold right now around the world. Safe haven, it's being held, it's being protected, it's then going to be used to fuel that growth, and that will cause gold prices to go down, and silver prices as well. The notion of beating the system and getting thousands and thousands of dollars an ounce for gold and silver is, just a fallacy. It is not real. It is not something that will happen. And the idea that there's a shortage of silver out there as well is just stupid. But it's a harsh word. I'm going to be apologetic to people who really, do believe that. But I do think it's just not something that's real. There is no shortage of silver out there. You just got to look at the recent releases from various mints around the world. Millions and millions of ounces being produced, and there is no shortage of silver. It's not a rare metal. It's just rarer than other metals. I've talked about that topic many times before, and I don't really want to labour the point. There is still a lot of uncertainty ahead, and that's what's fueling a large part of the movements in the market this week. Nobody knows where things will go. That's something that you should all bear in mind. So whether it be me or your other favourite YouTubers out there telling you to go and back that truck up or buy, just be careful and stick to your budgets. If you're sticking to your budgets, then it's fantastic, because it means you're getting more silver for the same amount of money. But if you rush away and you buy a bucket load of silver and then suddenly the price goes down even further next week, it's going to be opportunity lost. Stick to your guns, stick to your budget, stick to the accumulation over time, and that will see you come good in the end. That is my opinion, not financial advice. Now, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on the movements in the market this week. What do you think is happening in the world? Do you think that we are going to be seeing some more increases in silver and gold, or have we seen the start of a slow and steady decline and increase in that ratio to closer to 90 to 100 to 1 for silver to gold? Are you looking to buy more silver? All these questions and more I'd love to hear from all of you down in the comment section. Just a quick reminder as well, if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Put a thumbs up on it. It really does help everything that we do here on the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, like about 70% of all people, that's 70% of you watching right now, are not subscribed. If you've enjoyed what I have to say, we do these types of videos every week. So hit that subscribe button, because there's a good chance that you'll like the videos we make in the future. Otherwise, that's it from me. We'll see you next time. Thank you one and all for watching, and have a very, very happy week ahead. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.